Hi, this is Vic and welcome to this short episode of the Armourer's Bench. Well, let's consider this episode a cross between a surplus find, anti-tank and EOD, Explosive Ordnance Disposal. And I'll explain why in a second. Now, what's the subject of this episode? This. Now, those astute people amongst you who recognise munitions will recognise that this is a round from a PIAT, a projector infantry anti-tank gun. Developed during the Second World War by Millis Jeffries. This was the British Army's or British military's anti-tank weapon that replaced the boys' anti-tank rifle, which was way obsolete even at the beginning of World War II. This projectile is a former live round that has been converted into a drill round. It's been rendered inert. That was part of a explosive ordnance disposal training kit that I found over here in Germany, and its relevance is that there would obviously be, after World War II, and rounds, PIATs were still utilised after World War II for training. My father, who was in the Royal Air Force doing his national service from 1949 to 1951 in Germany, used a PIAT in training. So live PIAT rounds, or blinds as they've been known in service parlance these days, would have littered ranges in Germany, and also some would have been battlefield pickups. So the services in Germany, including the Bundeswehr, up until quite recently, were trained on how to identify and destroy lost PIAT rounds. So in amongst this kit that I've recently seen, and we see other examples of grenades, Italian grenades, Russian grenades, German grenades, Mills bombs, and American pineapple grenades were part of that kit, and I'm hoping to get access to a full one. Every one that I've seen recently has been only partially populated. They're a nice wooden box with cutouts in, and I'll see if I can dig out a photograph of one. But this I thought was particularly interesting, primarily because Matt Moss, my co-conspirator on the channel, is very interested in the PIAT, and I think Matt may become the owner of this this inert round. So what we'll do is we'll have a look at the round. This is a Mark III round with a blue band on it, which would indicate that it's TNT. It is an anti-tank round, but also could be used against fortifications. The interesting thing is that it's been overpainted with yellow above and below the blue round, which I can't find any official indication as such, but the yellow would tend to indicate that it is a drill come practice inert round. There is a red band around the nose cap here, which I'm not sure what that signifies, but I'll see if I can dig out of some of the textbooks that I have to see how this works. It looks very much like an enlarged a bazooka round, 2.36 or a slightly smaller 3.5, but it's interesting in that you can disassemble this and see how it works. So we're going to do that. We'll bring the camera up close and take this apart. Okay, as we can see, this is the PIAT round. It is, let's get the measuring stick out, it is approximately 15.5 inches or 40 centimeters long. The diameter is around about 3.25 inches, 3.5 inches, and we can see the construction here. The construction is, we have a tail fin, which is a reinforced tube. Welded to it are some guide fins and an annular a ring at the rear. The hole at the rear here is where the spigot would go in the PIAT round. The spigot would then come forward and hit the initiator charge. That would then launch the round off the end of the spigot through the trough on the PIAT, and also the recoil would then reset the spigot so that you didn't need to manually cock it again. Because cocking a PIAT was an enormous task. It was also very awkward to do in the prone position. It was awkward to do in the standing position. You could put your back out very seriously trying to cock one of these things, and it's something my father can vouch for. Like I say, the markings, we'll do a close in here. We've got the date of manufacturer, the lot number here, the blue band markings, and the yellow inert practice markings, which would have been applied later. We can also see the red ring here, which I'm not sure what that is. We'll look that up and see if we can find out in a book of ordnance that I have. Right, now what we're going to do is not use one of these to open it, but we should be able to unscrew this because it came as part of a kit. Now, the nose fuse here unscrews, and this is it's a pressed metal. It's a bit like a bottle cap, so it's very thin material. We unscrew it and take the nose fuse out. Now this is a contact fuse which would be initiated on contact with the target, and that would then fire the initiator out the end of the fuse. This is the front cone of the shaped charge, which is hollow. There is nothing forward of this point apart from the holding structure for the fuse, because everything, the charge, is to the rear of this formed into a cone. And let's take this apart. Now, this is quite stiff. Again, this is like a rather large soda bottle cap. Quite rusty as well. Okay, here we have the tailpipe, and in it, strangely, is what looks like compressed sawdust, and that's basically just to support the shaped charge. This is just a delivery device to get the shaped charge onto the target. This is the copper cone that forms the part of the rear of the charge. Now, I don't know if this comes apart. No, it doesn't. Okay, as you can see, it's actually crimped around here, but the TNT would be inside of this cone with a copper cup on the inside of that. When the fuse initiates the charge, the TNT will detonate and form a cone, with the copper cone being the charge or the missile which then penetrates the armor. So all we can see, this itself is the explosive device that would penetrate armor quite effectively. Like so. It would be delivered in a carrier which would hold 3 bombs, and they would be carried by the PIAT gunner and his assistant and other guys in the infantry squad. Okay, Thanks very much for watching this short video, and I hope you've enjoyed it. It's slightly off track from what we would normally do, but one thing I would warn you against is that if you ever do come across inert rounds like this, or a live round or a pickup, never use this to adjust it or open it up, because strange things could happen. You could disappear in a flash. Joking aside, you should never ever, if you find a round like this, a shell on a battlefield, on an old battlefield, or on a training ground, do not touch. Stay away. It may well be inert or spent, but don't take the risk. You could end up being a casualty. Thanks very much for watching. Please like, share and subscribe, and we'll see you soon. Bye for now.